Bob Iger is now the villain in all this because according to Den of Nerds, Josh from Den of Nerds, Bob Iger hated Star Wars and the George Lucas stuff, and he threw it out, and he didn't want to listen to Kathleen Kennedy. Now,
I believe the first half of that Bob Iger was part of the decision to throw away.
I believe he did that just because they didn't have to pay any sort of homage or tribute and follow any of George's rules. I believe that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't believe
Kathleen Kennedy was in on the decision to get rid of those scripts. I 100% believe that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because she talked about, unlike Marvel, we don't have any source material to base our stuff off of, so it's really hard to be as creative and stuff like that. And it was her idea as much as Bob's to decanonize the EU, to get rid of George's script, to make Star Wars her own. You can't you can blame one person without letting someone else off the hook. Both can be responsible for the same thing. It's not one or the other.
And
this is moronic.
Right. There is no hero in any of this. These are all villains. But we could read this article, but I would actually I prefer to I've got it on time and a half on 1.5 speed. Let's actually see what this cocksucker Josh from Den of Nerds has to say. He's going to make the case that Kathleen Kennedy is the hero here. I'm pretty sure that's his case. Let's listen to what it has to say. It's 1.5 speed. We'll tap out if we need to, but let's see what this suck up has to say.
All right, I'm just gonna say it. We're just gonna do it. No script on this, but I will explain what's going on, and we'll have a little adventure together. So, obviously, Kathleen Kennedy is the president.
Mind you, this is a shill.
Yeah, I don't know who
Disney,
he is.
This is a Disney Star Wars
look
shill.
at his background, though, to tell he's a shill.
This is a shill for everything. This kind of guy who didn't find a Hollywood cock he doesn't want to suck, essentially. So,
president of Lucasfilm, and as such, she has been the target of some criticism. Being the leader, I think that just comes with the territory.
No.
Yeah, the leader's responsible for the decisions her subordinates make. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and her subordinates are Dave Filoni and a couple others who have been there for a decade. All involved. And she deserves criticism because she destroyed one of the greatest franchises, most profitable franchises of all time.
He's saying this is if it's crazy to hold the person responsible.
Yeah.
And just like a coach on a sports team that's having a losing season, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of attention, a lot of articles, the focus of narratives in journalistic circles, chatter on social media, the narratives just really focus on how bad of a job you're doing. That's the world.
All right, question. What has she done that's good? In 15 years, what has she done that's good?
Yeah, if a coach has no winning seasons in a 15-year career, they
fired.
Shouldn't be a coach.
But Jed, look how many movies she produced with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
She held the coffee maker.
Thank you.
That's all she did.
Yeah, her husband got her a job. It's wifely nepotism.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy being president of Lucasfilm with Star Wars doing what it is doing has been the target, I think rightfully so, of a lot of criticism. However,
yet you've still sucked its dick plenty of times.
It might be the case that she was actually the target of a lot of unfair criticism, okay? And
we owe her an apology. Here it goes.
Look, here's what happened. I'll just explain it to you all.
Now, guys, this is what his source tells him. His sources that he can't name.
And I have no agenda here other than to just tell the truth. So yesterday, a big article came out because Adam Driver revealed that he was working on a Star Wars movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo. It's a big project.
Which was the terrible title, by the way. I think that's a terrible title.
Yeah.
And so you guys can just have a little visual aid there. Big project. Soderbergh, Kathleen Kennedy, Carrie Beck,
and Dave Filoni. Don't leave out Dave Filoni. Articles mentioned he was in on that conversation too. He loved it.
Dave Filoni. Everybody's down. They take it to Disney. Disney says no. Now, Adam Driver name drops Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and he says that Disney itself, Disney corporate, said no to this. Kathleen Kennedy said yes, wanted to do this thing. Bob Iger and Disney said no. Okay, now that's wild because that's kind of like weirdly specific. Like it's weird that Adam would be that specific about it, okay? But of course that brings into question, oh my God, has this happened before perhaps? Has there maybe been other times where Bob Iger was secretly fucking shit up?
All right.
Whoa.
Secretly fucking shit up.
In logic.
No. Look, I don't like the Weatherman more than anybody else does. All right.
Yeah.
The idea that everybody was on board and Bob Iger said no, let's just say that's accurate for the sake of simplicity. Let's say
Okay.
that's accurate. Why would you then assume that he is behind the failures that have been produced? That means that he greenlit the garbage over and over and over again.
And
But
somehow
then when they
turned away good shit.
apparently,
Yeah.
that's not how that works, sir.
Yeah.
Is this guy special needs? Because I want to cut
I-
into him, but I don't know if he's on the spectrum.
He just wants to make Bob Iger the fall guy. We don't need a fall guy. There's already tons of people to blame,
We already
provably
know.
so.
Look, it's Kathleen Kennedy. Everybody knows it. It's not even hyperbole. Like, why did this Star Wars movie fail? It's her. She's made it perfectly clear by putting all her same cronies. What was that? Chanoy, whatever.
And self-inserting herself into half these projects, a young British brunette.
Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bruh, it's her. Like, it's not hyperbole. It's not, we're misunderstanding. We're not like, oh, it's the Wizard of Oz pulling the strings. No, you forget that Bobby was gone. And the Chapek was there too.
Wow. Dre, hold on a second. You mean to tell me that Bob Iger was gone, but not gone? He didn't have any yes or no power. He was just kind of sitting on the board of directors at the time. But Chapek, from 21 to 24, or late 23, 24, he was CEO of Disney, not Bob Iger. And there were plenty of things announced during that period of time that didn't happen, and plenty of things that were pushed that didn't happen. But somehow Bob Iger's the final boss every time.
Because this would have been pitched to Disney during the Chapek era.
100%.
Wow,
because
Jed.
this was 2019 was.
Rise of Skywalker came out in
2019.
December of 2019.
Perfect.
And then about a year to workshop it, during which time Chapek takes over. And by the time they get to pitching it, Chapek's in charge.
So there's a timeline problem here.
Absolutely.
There's a timeline problem here.
Yeah, blame Bob Chapek. He was already the fall guy for all of Bob Iger's mistakes.
Yeah, well, he was put there to be the fall guy.
That's what I mean.
Heaven, yeah.
But this guy seems to think, just because there's another person responsible for bad decisions doesn't exonerate the people who have already been proved to be responsible for a bunch of bad decisions.
I love it that you just pointed out that timeline problem, that Chapek was CEO when this would have been pitched. I mean, Bob Iger was still there, but he wasn't CEO anymore. So,
and allowing Kathleen Kennedy to take the blame. And by the way, this has been a narrative that's out there. I want to be fair to people. This whole time, during my entire time on YouTube, and I've talked a lot of shit on Kathleen Kennedy. I have talked a lot of shit on Kathleen Kennedy. Go into the YouTube search bar and search "She Gone Nerd Theory" or "She Gone Kathleen Kennedy," and you will find a literal musical track with me and my friend Star Wars Theory, where we are saying that Kathleen Kennedy's going to get fired and celebrating it. Okay, I am that toxic.
Listen. I don't want to throw shade at Theory, but Theory is a fucking fence sitter. He's been a fence sitter for years.
Yeah, he always has. He's always been offensive, and I understand, because he still wants access. Yeah, I understand that, and he doesn't want to hurt his brand, and I understand that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, who this?
I don't know.
That's my question. Yeah. Who this? Like, we understand Theory sitting on the fence. I get it. This is about money. I understand that. Who this? I've never seen this guy before.
I've heard of him. I've seen him a couple of times. And my point, and this to respond to what he's saying here, if you've talked trash about Kennedy, then how come you still have supported Disney Star Wars so much?
It's either pick one. You can't do both. Look, I hate the idea of, yes, I am anti-Disney, but I will spend my money. Like, what it's either you stand against it or you don't. Like, pick a side, bro.
It's not a la carte. It's not a la carte. I've said that for years. It's not a la carte.
YouTuber guy, man, baby, chud, dude, bro guy. That's who I am. That's what
you've never been called that in your life, dude. No.
This man don't didn't he make a sports analogy earlier?
Yeah, he tried.
Good and well.
I mean,
good and well. You ain't playing no sports.
Here's the thing. This dude has never been once included in our sphere of conversation where we push back at any of it. He has never once been on our side of anything. Never.
I agree. I'm
never. He has never lined up. In fact, I bet if you dig into his social media, he has probably talked shit about the larger channels in our sphere. Saying, oh, they shouldn't talk like this. Oh, we're not associated with these types of channels. I bet he's done that. I bet he has.
What I've done, okay? So I've made a lot of content that's very negative against Kathleen Kennedy, and that entire time there's
Have you made content negative against Disney Star Wars? That's my question.
always been some voices out there that'll hit me up and be like, actually, Josh, Kathy's great. It's actually not Kathy. It's Disney. Okay. So just want to be fair that this has actually been something that other people have spoken to. But until yesterday, until Adam Driver really put it on Front Street, I don't know how easy it was for people to really internalize that, to sit with that, to synthesize what that actually means. And so as I was sitting with this, I tweeted something yesterday. Maybe you saw it. Here, I'll pull it up for you. I tweeted something yesterday.
Why didn't you have it ready? Jesus Christ.
This guy.
Well,
makes
while
me
he's
sick.
searching for that, I looked it up. Bob Chapek became CEO almost exactly 2 months after Rise of Skywalker came out. It's unequivocal
So-
that he was in charge when this movie was pitched. If this movie was pitched the way it
So-
was posed.
So it's either all a lie, or they didn't even pitch it to him and they went to Iger, who was still in the building and didn't give up his office. Either
Or
way,
Kathleen just
dysfunction.
threw Bob Iger under the bus when they came to her.
Yeah.
Here's what I tweeted. I said, also, if this is true, speaking of the whole situation with, Bob Iger and Adam Driver, if this is true, then Bob Iger was doing shit like this and letting Kathleen Kennedy take all the blame while saying nothing.
Once again, the history. Disney Star Wars from 2012 to now 2025 and going on for at least another year with Mando Grogu and all that shit. One failure after another. You could say all you want, nostalgia packed, Force Awakens, all that stuff. Ever since then, once people, had the shit wiped off their eyes and saw it for what it was, it's been nothing but failure. Disney Star Wars never made money. There's been no successes. So you then have to say that Bob Iger has to be blamed for everything. You're saying this type of discussion, this type of wording, as I see it, is trying to absolve Kathleen Kennedy of all of Disney Star Wars' failures. Is that what that feeling I'm getting? That's the feeling I'm getting from this.
Nothing. And so I was thinking this, and then I said this. I said, I'm about to get this tea on this motherfucker Bob Iger. If anyone else wants to hit me up with any info, DMs are open. And I got hit up with a bunch of DMs. But here's what's really important. Here's what's really important for you to know. And at the end of the day, like, people are gonna have different feelings and opinions about what I'm about to say. Some of you might think it's fake, and it is worth noting that it comes from a source. It's not.
I think it's fake. I haven't heard what he has to say yet. I think it's fake. I think this guy gets things and will probably embellish it. That's what I think.
It isn't direct. I don't have first.
I tend to not believe insider stuff. I mean, how many people have faked being insiders to mess with YouTubers?
Mm-hmm.
None of these people do enough due diligence because they realize, hey, it's just an insider. This is just rumor. I'm not claiming fact on it, and they get away with it because of that. So yeah, I don't believe insiders 90% of the time.
Yeah,
and knowledge of this coming from a source. But as fate would have it, it's not just a source. It's the best fucking source I have. It's the most plugged in source that I have.
Sure.
It's the Omega source, the Alpha source. It's the source that gave us all the info on Ahsoka Season 2. It's the source that gave me all the...
You mean the information that everybody had on Ahsoka? That everybody fucking knew? Because the Ahsoka information, that you couldn't take 2 steps in the sphere in pop culture without hearing about Ahsoka shit. That's like claiming, water's wet because I stepped in a puddle. You break.
Info on the finale of Ahsoka Season 1, which I wrote down on a piece of paper when we did the watch party for the finale, and then I proved to you after we saw the episode that the source knew exactly the big things that were going to happen, which was pretty crazy.
Again, we kind of all... I didn't need a source to predict what was going to fucking happen in that. I remember watching it. Everybody predicted what was going to happen. You didn't need a fucking source. Because everybody fucking knew how that shit was going to end up.
The source is like... Basically, guys, if it were any other source on the planet, I would ignore it.
Jed, he's working overtime and this is sped up here. He's working overtime to say my source is so good.
He just wants to legitimize himself, and that'll make this video go big. This doesn't sound real. This doesn't sound legitimate.
Yeah.
I would ignore it. And this source, it's absolutely incredible, unbelievable, great source. Hit me up with a whole bunch of info. And I want to go over some of that information with you because what I want to put out there, at the very least, is that
Oh
an
my-
incredibly plugged-in person that I
Oh my
trust.
God, get to it already. Jesus Christ.
This man is stalling hard, yo.
He-
Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, and it's imagine if we were watching this at normal speed. Imagine.
is saying that a lot of the narrative over the last couple of years about Kathleen, about the choices, about what's been going on in Star Wars is not exactly correct. Okay, are you with me so far? Are you with
Okay, what's been the past couple of years? Skeleton Crew. That came out, dog shit. Mandalorian season 3, dog shit. Andor, politically motivated, dog shit. The Acolyte, dog shit. The High Republic comics, books that fail, dog shit. That's the past couple of years. And last I checked, Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of Lucasfilm, which greenlights all this shit, along with Dave Filoni.
me so far? Have we done enough tickling? Are you ready? Have I done enough tickling? Are you ready?
What is he talking about?
He's
What
Talking
the
about
heck
tickling
is he-
balls.
He's trying to be clever.
About?
He's trying to be
What is he
clever, and he's not.
talking about? God, I hate
I'll start with my
humanity.
Yeah.
Pretty basic one that I think will make a lot of sense for you, but one that is actually kind of interesting. Okay? Chat, do you guys like the Clone Wars?
No. No, I don't. I know Jed likes most of it, but I don't.
Are you
I
fans
need to
of the Clone Wars?
rewatch it. It's been way too long.
Do you ever like the Clone Wars? Have you ever been a fan of the Clone Wars?
You've already asked that 3 times.
Is this considered good YouTube? Am I doing something wrong?
This is a disaster, man. I don't know
How is
what's
this
going
2
on,
times
man.
speed?
I don't
This-
know.
no,
what's
it's
going
1.5.
on, man.
It's
Oh.
I don't know what's
1.5.
going on.
Still.
Get to the point. What
A
is
couple of
it?
interesting-
What?
I don't know.
Things about the Clone Wars. Number one, Kathy wanted to keep it on when Disney bought them. So remember, Disney buys.
I love how he's calling her Kathy. It's so strange.
What is going on? Like, okay, look.
Yeah.
I am convinced
Hmm.
that he is not on the spectrum. He's just retarded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he literally is sitting on what only thing I can describe is a thumbtack in the scrotum. Okay. That's the only thing I can describe. This man is neurotic behavior. Just say what your source said and let's get on with our day. What
He's
is this
trying to
person's
stretch out his
problem?
runtime or some shit like that. I know this is a clip from a stream, but he's stretching it out for reasons unknown.
Disney buys Lucasfilm, and one of the first things they do is they kill Clone Wars. They let Dave do a sort of makeshift final season. Okay.
Well, hang on.
After a decade.
That's not what
that long,
happened.
but
No,
it was
no. Clone Wars, it had reached the end. It was
Yes,
bumping
it
up
was
to
done.
Revenge of the Sith. It kind of had to end.
Yeah. It
You-
ended.
You were there. You're at the end of what you could tell of that period of time in Star Wars.
He's talking about season 7 because season 7 was where they bumped up to
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, and that came out a good 8 years after. A
Yeah.
good 10 years. It was a ways after, but it was canceled before it was ready to be canceled. And he's wrong about this. They gave Dave Filoni Rebels as this consolation prize.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Which was so bad.
Yeah.
And then eventually
Who
they
knows?
went back to Clone Wars when they wanted to reintroduce Dave into the Mandoverse and all of that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot later. He's acting like that's what happened when they took over. That's not what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. This is all wrong. And once again, Clone Wars should be canceled because it was at the end. You're right there at Revenge of the Sith.
After season 7, yeah, it needed
Yeah.
to be canceled.
Yeah.
It's not what it should have been. They didn't let Dave have his ending. Okay, so the first thing you got to realize is Kathy wanted to keep Clone Wars on and just let Dave keep doing his thing, and Bob Iger said no. The next interesting thing that the source told me was that Bob Iger did not want to bring Clone Wars back. Now, you're going to start to see a pattern emerge here, and I'm just
And you know what? That would have been fine because you just made Ahsoka even worse when you brought her back. Having her walk off and disappear kind of made you think, okay, yeah, then she gets caught up in the Jedi Purge. And dies.
Or it gave her. See, this is how you know this idiot knows nothing.
Yeah.
Or this could have been her out on why she wasn't hunted during Order 66 because she was no longer a Jedi, and she
Yeah.
could just live her life out in peace. And there was a fine way for her to walk away and wait for it, Adam, and never be seen again.
But then Dave Filoni couldn't make her the center of all things Star Wars.
God in heaven. See, that's what I'm saying. These people are stupid.
All of this, none of this jives. None of this jives.
I'm going to say from Jump Street, the impression I got, and this is something my source directly told me, was that Bob Iger does not like George Lucas. Bob Iger does not like the prequels. Bob Iger does not like George Lucas. Now,
newsflash: a lot of people don't like the prequels.
Yeah,
I can believe that. That doesn't mean Kathleen Kennedy does,
and it doesn't mean she's carrying the banner. Force Awakens shows us she didn't like keeping the spirit of Star Wars alive. Okay,
clearly.
I would love to know. Let's just stop right here. What do you guys think of that? Do you think yes or do you think no? You think that's crazy? Some of you are like, no
what
shit.
Is he talking about?
I don't know. I had to sit with that for a little bit.
Sit with what?
What is he talking about? He's not saying anything.
It was clear that Bob Iger, as we said when we started, Bob Iger had no intention of doing. Bob Iger admitted it himself in his own fucking biography. I didn't go with George's ideas because they didn't work for what we had planned. This is news we already fucking knew that he wasn't on with whatever George was suggesting they go with. And if he hates the prequels, like I just said, newsflash, a lot of people hate the prequels.
You're looking at one.
Yeah.
I don't like the prequels either. They're not good movies. They're not.
This doesn't mean that he's not wrong for making the proper business decision to not greenlight shit that's going to lose them even more fucking money.
Yeah.
I had to sit with that for a little bit. But it does explain a lot, as we are going to get into.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Isn't this already kind of changing how you thought about this?
No.
We knew Bob Iger hated George Lucas Star Wars. This isn't changing anything.
He made it clear day one after they bought freaking Star Wars. When George was like, hey, I got all these scripts for these next movies. They were like, listen, sir, go down to your ranch and eat some ice cream. That is what happened. That's not news.
If this guy needed an insider to tell him this, then he hasn't been paying attention.
No.
Okay, so here's the next thing that's crazy. He didn't want to bring back Clone Wars because he didn't want anything to do with Anakin. He didn't want anything to do with the prequels, which Clone Wars is associated with, obviously.
Newsflash! Their opening statement when they bought Disney, we're getting rid of everything that came before and making our own stuff. This is not news.
Their first decision was to decanonize the EU.
Yeah. Which means
that's like the first thing.
Which means decanonizing a lot of what Anakin Skywalker did in books and comics, in addition to Clone Wars. And they decanonized. Oh my God, this is what it's as though what this guy woke up and suddenly sees this stuff for the first time because a source told him. Shut up.
And he didn't want anything associated with George. So Bob Iger was saying no to Clone Wars the entire time. Kathleen Kennedy, my source told me Kathleen Kennedy had to fight tooth and nail to get that final season of Clone Wars to come back. Okay.
I like it how Jed he's not bringing up the fact that they did Rebels for.
Yeah, they did Rebels with the same people and god awful animation.
Worse animation.
Yeah, they didn't bring Clone Wars back not until they were able to convince Bob Iger of some shit when they realized they had nothing except nostalgia.
Yeah.
And Clone Wars brought in nostalgia. Because Clone Wars Season 7, that was 2020, I believe. It was after Disney Plus was launched, which was in 2019. So it was a long time later when the decline of Disney Star Wars was apparent and bold-faced truth at this point after the failure of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's the reason why. Not Kathleen finally winning.
Yeah.
And this is where it's going to start to like get like we're going to this Bob Iger dude really fucked up because now this shit's about to get out there.
So right away, this whole thing, it's Bob Iger is the reason Star Wars sucks, not Kathleen Kennedy. That is the argument we are being told here.
They're both
He hasn't said anything. He's saying nothing that one didn't know already. And he already knew he had beef with George. Everybody knew that. And yes, he didn't like Clone Wars. He made that clear. They didn't want to use the EU. He made that perfectly clear.
This failure is a team effort. There's everybody has a role to play in destroying Star Wars in favor of Disney Star Wars. Good Lord.
there, and people are going to be like, what? So here's the next thing that's crazy. Dave, in that final season of Clone Wars, Dave wanted to do Son of Dathomir.
Kill me.
Oh, yeah. Let's let Dave Filoni butcher Dathomir some more. That's a good idea. Once again, wow, pretty smart. Don't let him butcher Dathomir more. That's actually
it's gonna happen when Maul comes out, the new animated Maul TV show.
Yeah.
That's gonna go back to Dathomir. You're gonna love
Lord.
that.
Now, you get a little bit of that energy because obviously Maul is on the Mandalorian John, and they have the big battle at the end and all of that sort of stuff. But Dave wanted to do that Mother Talzin shit, that shit with Dooku and maybe Grievous, and the Dark Horse comic book run of Sons of Dathomir.
Wait, did he just say that Maul was in Mandalorian?
No, on Mandalore, the Battle of Mandalore.
Oh, at Mandalore. Okay.
He made it to end of the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is
where
true.
where Ahsoka magically beats him because she balanced better on a beam than he did.
Yeah,
that's
that
how
hurt
that's
my
how that
soul.
fight went.
Not to mention they brought Ray Park back for that, and that boiled my piss. I love me some Ray Park. I had to sit there and make him do that crap. That sickens me. Golly.
Guess who shot that down? Wasn't Kathy. Kathy wanted. That's why they tanked the promotional stuff for Solo. So
That's not how that works.
Oh, we also have a problem here. Wasn't she the one that fucked up Solo's production by canceling it 90% through and starting over with Ron Howard?
Yeah,
Wasn't
getting new
that her?
directors 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, maybe Bob Iger saw the numbers that nobody bought or even heard of that comic book series.
None. Nobody. Zero people bought that. I don't know what is this man talk. I'm very confused.
He's making shit up.
He's just saying words.
A failed comic book run adaptation TV show is the reason why Bob Iger failed to promote Solo properly?
If that's where he's going, I guess. I don't know. Let's see.
So Dave wanted to do Son of Dathomir. There was going to be 16 episodes of Clone Wars Return season. Bob Iger said, hell no, I never even wanted this. You got 12 episodes. Yeah. So that's,
in those 12 episodes, 8 of them were hot trash. What are we talking about right now?
The Ahsoka crap.
The Ahsoka crap, the introduction of the Bad Batch, all that stuff.
Oh, I forgot. They did it so that they could the soft pilot for Bad Batch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for Bad Batch and the Lesbian Sisters.
Yes,
backdoor pilot.
8 episodes, that garbage.
And originally that was supposed to be a romance arc with Ahsoka and some dude, and they changed to Lesbian Sisters.
And so let's just take for what he said. He's like, oh, it should have been more episodes. They only got the garbage that was spewed out there outside the last four episodes, at least were entertaining. Those first 8 episodes, I rather have had a colonoscopy. 100%. And put me out, stick the pole up my hole, and shoot the cold water. Okay? Because that was a waste of my time. Everybody knew that was garbage filler, and that's what they got. That was what was cut down to. Because I'm pretty sure the Weatherman saw that crap, was like, listen, guys.
That's Dave Filoni unfiltered. Those episodes are Dave Filoni unfiltered. Absolutely. He is the top creative at Disney Lucasfilm. No one tells him what to do. He could do whatever he wants. That's what that was.
They're just trying to rewrite reality. They're still trying to push that Dave Filoni is the one good Star Wars person out there when he doesn't have a great track record. Rebels still exists, guys, and Rebels is not good. And yeah, if Bob Iger was making these things, then he was making the correct decisions.
Yeah.
But we know he's making terrible decisions through all of this. It's just bizarre, the rewriting of reality that's going on in this video. And Kathleen, just like you're saying in the chat, Kathy was responsible for Dial of Destiny too. Was that Bob Iger's fault too? Or Willow? Is everything at the foot of Bob Iger? Is he really paying attention to every small project?
He's final boss. He's final boss villain.
Guys, that's basically the very beginning, okay? That's just the start. So let me don't
bring up when she was fucking up without Bob Iger. That's gonna ruin my narrative, guys. Stop.
Let me try to get into some of these other things. Let me just find this. Hang on now.
So professional.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
God.
Okay.
We're watching this whole video.
Help us.
Well, we don't need to. I think we've kind of established. We've gotten enough, I think, to establish.
He said nothing.
Yeah.
We've watched 11 minutes of this garbage. He has said nothing.
I'm gonna
at
jump ahead.
all.
I'm just gonna jump ahead right here. Let's see what he's doing over here.
Movie, the Mangold movie, the Charmin Obed Chinoy movie, those were the big movies. I don't think there was anything else announced at the time, okay? And then like 3 or 4 months later, we get this random information about a Mando Grogu movie. Do you remember? And we were all like, what the fuck? Yeah, because Bob Iger came in and was like, we need a Star Wars in the theaters. And we're going to take your show and we're going to turn it into a...
Adam, turn this off. Turn this garbage off.
This is the narrative that he is spewing, that all those movies aren't happening, not because they can't get it. We've been following all those stories. All those movies can't be done. The narrative creative process for the Ray movie, they've lost multiple screenwriters and writers for that. They've walked away. The dude who did what's it called? That show. I'm giving great shit. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders writer. He walked away from it because they couldn't.
Stephen Knight.
Yeah, Stephen. He walked away. Good writer, walked away. James Mangold is doing other shit, and after Dial-Up of Destiny, kind of shot his shot and fucked up. So I'm sorry, that whole list, that's bullshit. So of course you're gonna go to the easy layup of Dave Filoni, who already has his slop written and ready to go.
They don't want the controversy of Rian Johnson to be their relaunch into the theater with his trilogy, and he's happy making those god-awful Knives Out movies, so...
Yeah, I mean...
They don't have options besides Mandalorian and Grogu right now. That's the easy choice.
Well, they got Starfighter.
Yeah.
Starfighter.
That's going to do great. You want Amy Adams' Force-sensitive kid?
Who?
Yeah.
Amy Adams is going to be a Jedi after Rise of Skywalker with a Force-sensitive kid that Ryan Gosling has to babysit and get to Rey's new Jedi Order.
Does that sound like fun to anyone?
They're on a water planet at one point. We know that. They're shooting it right now. Point is, I would love to spend our time with what we have left, but we're almost at the end of the show. I think we've made our case. This is Dre, you said it perfect. This guy's rewriting history. He's changing it up. He has told us nothing. We skipped ahead a couple minutes. He's still making shit up. So essentially, this guy is now carrying the banner for a lot of people. Bob Iger is the reason Disney Star Wars sucks. No, we're not saying he's not been involved.
He's a big part of the problem.
But without question, he has his blame. But to absolve
this guy's absolving Kathleen Kennedy. He's absolving Dave. It sounds like he's absolving Dave Filoni.
He's putting all the blame on one man. This disaster is too big to be one person's fault.
Yeah,
this is a massive failure of one of the biggest franchises in human history.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and one person can't be responsible for all that.
That was a layup.
The people. Yeah,
it was a layup. Yeah. And if you can't get Star Wars to work, fire yourself. You don't deserve to be here. You know, let's rewind back to 2012. Okay, the moment I would have purchased, let's say I had gajillions of dollars, and I go to George and I say, all right, I'm buying it from you. First order of business, EU. We'll start from there and work our way forward.
Wow, it's a simple solution.
George gave them scripts. You've got the EU, and he's handed you scripts. Great, you made my life easier. Thank you.
Heavy lifting's done.
Production.
You're also, it's like, George, give me all the numbers of all the authors you worked with for the EU, so I can stay in touch with them and see what they have thought of, what they're working on.
And pursue the Underworld TV show George was working on or whatever.
Yeah,
he was giving you product.
Only technology kept him from making it time. The costs were too high. Now it's peanuts compared to what it would have cost then, and the technology is there. So this is, let's get rid of him. Let's get this.
It's rewriting reality. I don't know why.
Delusion. This is why I said at the beginning of this, they are living in some delusional world of fantasy that Kathleen Kennedy needs an apology. She's the one that was really fighting for George's vision all along. No,
that's laughable.
It's laughable. She hated George Lucas. She hated Steven Spielberg. And if she did so much, if she was such a thorn in Bob Iger's side, why wasn't she fired?
Or if she was really the altruistic person trying to support George's and Steven's legacy, because both of their legacies were destroyed by what Disney's
Yes.
done to Lucasfilm.
Yes.
If she really were, why didn't she choose to leave? If nothing else, if Bob Iger could have fired her, why didn't she choose to leave? If she's the saint that we're trying to be made to believe that she is, she should have left. You don't want your name associated to the desecration of some of your closest friends' works.
But they
You
weren't her
only
friends.
stay if you agree with it.
Yeah, and she was on. All of them have been on board with every single thing that has destroyed Disney Star Wars. Every single thing, from the sequel trilogy, to Dave Filoni Mandoverse, to Andor, to the High Republic, to the barely non-existent video games for the past decade. They've all signed on. Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew, these crappy fake animes they keep putting out, the Vision shit, the Tales series. It's all been, everybody's been okay with it. There's been no dissension in the ranks. This is, you know what this is? It's the Civil War all over again. Kathleen Kennedy has been fighting the Civil War against Bob Iger the whole time, and we just didn't know it. So we need to realize that she's not Darth KK. She's Master KK fighting for the light against the dark. No, she isn't.
And Adam, let's play devil's advocate for a hot Jew second. All right.
Okay.
Let's just say it's true.
Okay.
Let's just say that KK has been fighting the good fight. I can't say that.
Can't say what to say.
Let's just say that she is being hindered by the weatherman. Okay. When the weatherman was in charge, okay, the sequel trilogy happened under KK's watch. She was undisputedly, it's not even up for debate, undisputedly the mastermind behind the trilogy. That's not hyperbole. That's not what if. That is what happened. Then he disappeared. The world went crazy. Streaming services went absolutely berserk, and then the freaking stock started dropping it like it's hot. He comes back and says, hey, I gave you free reign to do whatever you want because Bobby Chapek is literally just here for window dressing. You have cost me billions. I am now going to start cutting your projects. By every measurable metric, if there was actually a struggle, Bob Iger's the good guy.
Trying to save money.
Even what he's saying, even if it's true, Bob Iger is the hero of the story. So if you want to take what he's saying with a grain of salt, he's still not proving the right point. Pointing at Bob Iger as the bad guy is wrong. You have to point at KK as the villain. All the same.
Let us not forget, during this period of time, I've saved it for this moment because we haven't mentioned it, Kenobi. And Kenobi, and not just the horrible work that show was, but the attack on fans that went on during that period, the gaslighting with Moses Ingram, Ewan McGregor, all that shit. That's Disney's modus operandi on everything. Go after the people who disagree with you. How many times in the MCU and every other project from Pixar to Disney Lucasfilm did we see them do that? If Bob Iger wasn't there during that period of time? So you're telling me that Kathleen Kennedy is not responsible for giving the marching orders for everything Kenobi?
That would be 100% her fault. So that's what I'm saying. Everything this man is saying, he's the villain.
Yeah.
He'd be the bad guy. You're defending the villain. If it is to believe, now we're smarter than that. We know that Bobby had his dirty booger fingers and a whole bunch of stuff. We know that everybody played a part in the downfall of Star Wars. But if we wanted to play a stupid game with this individual, Bobby's the good guy.
Yeah.
So
for simply wanting to save money
For
from a
somebody to save
company
money.
for his company that is literally bleeding from the theme parks to their movie studios. They're
exactly
bleeding money in every orifice right now,
every orifice is leaking,
Yeah.
and then the idea that
top to bottom.
that projects were pitched to him, and he said no, makes him the villain after once again using his logic
Mhm.
after watching the disaster that was the sequel trilogy. After watching the disaster of the sequel trilogy, then they come to him with sequel trilogy adjacent stuff, and he's like, "Well, that was garbage, so no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to green light
Yeah,
more trash because these stockholders are trying to do unspeakable things to my hole with a corn on the cob."
and
Okay,
as Jed said, he said let's retreat to nostalgia because it's all we got. All we got is nostalgia, and that barely kept the nose above water.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you resort to nostalgia, you're admitting defeat. You're
Mm-hmm.
admitting that you have nothing
Yeah.
else. You're not
Yeah.
braving into the future.
Yeah. So Disney
What a
Star
waste.
Wars this proves it's a dysfunctional mess.
Mm-hmm.
There are no heroes. They're
Oh, no.
all villains, and each and every one of them, from Bob Iger to Kathleen Kennedy to Dave Filoni to all their little mongoloid minions in there, they are all responsible for the destruction of the most profitable franchise in history until 2012. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.